All right, this is Richard White here again. The other day I tied this fly as part of a demo on designing a fly, and I got cut short by the fact that the battery on my camera was dying. I had originally wanted to put some sort of cheek or shoulder and eyes on it, and so I'm coming back to do exactly that. So what I've decided I would do is to put on a little bit of mallard flank to be the cheek or the shoulder. People use those words to mean similar things sometimes, and sometimes rather different ones. So, excuse me, I'm going to basically go back and finish the same fly rather than starting from scratch. No need for anyone to watch me do it again. So I'm going to start my thread, bring it back to the back of the head, and I'm going to try to do all this without using too many turns. Unfortunately, the head on it is not huge right now. And I'm going to start by laying a mallard flank feather on one side, on the side you can see better. I'm going to rotate it slightly so I can see it better on top. But I want it to sit a little bit higher than center. And when I go over, I'm going to make sure I'm going over some of the barbules, and not just over stem, because that will hold it flatter on the side of the fly. Then I can go back and clip the stem. Then I can rotate and do the same, rotate the fly and do the same thing on my side, making sure I've got a similarly sized piece of section of mallard flank, and running the same length. I'm going to lay that on the far side, trying to get it as similar. Not that the fish check both sides, but hey, it helps to be happy with what you tie, not just please the fish. A number of tight turns so that won't go anywhere. Dealing with too much fluff on my desk here. Pull the stem back, clip the stem. Now, so that kind of creates more of a body form going back. Also creates a sense of the full head of the little fish. Now I'm going to tie on some eyes, and I'm going to go with jungle cock eyes. I have them handy. And I'd rather not put a lot of glue necessary to put on, like a stick-on eye. Someone suggested it would make a very attractive fly, but I'd rather not work with the glue. But I could glue onto the mallard flank here a stick-on eye and then cover it in resin. But instead I'm going to go with something a little more traditional, which are jungle cock eyes. So I'm going to lay one on the far side, hold it firmly in place with my fingers while I wrap the stem down. And I've generally not had a problem with them pulling out, so I'm not going to double the stem back over. Come over to my side. Make sure I'm laying it down at the same length and in as much as possible the same relative position. Pin it with my thumb. Nice tight wraps so it will not go anywhere. Clip the stem. Clean up the head so none of those little bits of feather stems show through. which is just a little careful application of thread. Stretch out my thread a little bit so I now have enough excess for whip finishing. All the time maintaining tension. One, two, three, four, 5 turn whip finish back to front. How did that slip? There we go. That's back in place. Somehow the eye had gotten popped out of place, at least on my side. I'll go back and look at the other side. It looks good on the other side. And now I have a fly that's looks a little livelier, gives the mallard flank kind of fills the body a little bit more, giving it an even more fish-like shape. And then I can reach around, get my head cement, which here is Sally Hansen. As you see, this bottle's getting a little low, so there's a bit of tipping has to take place to get the brush wet. Then use head cement to completely coat the turns in the front. And I'll come back after this dries and add more layers. It's perfectly well sealed now, but sometimes when it sinks in, some of the thread shows through rather than looking nice and smooth. But one coat will generally hold everything together quite nicely. And as you see now, that fly is now a bit fishier looking than it was even before the cheeks of mallard flank were put in place. So now turning it, I'm seeing I kind of like the side of fly that was closer to me a little better than the one that was further away, which is not unusual. It's one of the real advantages of having and using a rotary vise is being able to check both sides. Anyway, so there's the fly, the smelt fly, that was, I kind of thought my way through as I designed it. It'll be a few months before I can find out how well this one works, but it has a number of elements to it that have worked in others, so I'm pretty confident. But again, the whole point here was deciding what you need, what you want to do with the fly, deciding what effect you want and what materials or what techniques will give you that effect. This one's fairly simple. It has several steps, but none of them are very complex. I hope that helps people. As always, please subscribe if you find this interesting. Like it if you like it. Comments, questions are always welcome, and thank you for watching. Again, Richard White from White Heart Fly Tying. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.